Flosstube.
Hi, Flosstube.
I'm Allie.
I'm Amy.
And we are Lost Our Needles. This is a YouTube channel about mostly cross stitch.
With the occasional book or maybe card thrown in just for fun.
Yeah. So it has been a little over a month since we filmed. I think it's like 5 weeks. And life has been busy.
For you.
For me. Since we last met, school got out, so we had graduation, we had all the end of the year stuff. It was so chill this year because for the first time in a couple years, I didn't move out of my classroom. So it was literally like, leave everything where it is, tidy it up, push the tables aside, and I'm done.
And I didn't have to go in and help you move or anything.
It was lovely because I was like, I kept being like, I feel like there's more to do, but there's not. So me and my department are very much loved not having to move this year.
All settled in.
Yeah, and then school got out and I got to do a Fellowship of Christian Athletes, like coaches retreat.
Good.
And so that was like almost like a staycation because there was a hotel like in the Phoenix area that we went to. Went to Kansas City and scored, it was just over 2,000 responses. Then I came home and changed what I was scoring, but did another like 50 or so, 60-ish, another 10 hours or so. And then working out, reading, hanging out with friends. Like
hanging out with friends a lot, which has been nice.
We're over halfway through the summer and I really...
Isn't that sad? It's June 21st and in Arizona, and I know a lot of other places too, they're halfway through the summer.
Like we got our nails done. And so our next 3-week rotation of getting our nails done will be the Saturday before we report back.
It's just nuts. I mean, it works out because then you get more vacation time in the fall and the spring and not Christmas, but it works out. And honestly, it's too hot down here to be spending much time outside. So why not go back and get more time when the weather's lovely?
But literally, I'm sitting here being like, I've been keeping myself really busy. Like yesterday, I actually planned a day to have no plans so I could just sit around the house. I'd read and then I'd do something and I'd read and I'd do something because I've kept myself so busy. It's been kind of fun.
Yeah, well, it's all good stuff.
Yeah, I redid my craft room. I'm gonna be selfish and insert the video here. I like sold the desk I had and put in new tables and everything so that like my craft room office space is much more user-friendly. So no more using the Cricut on the floor because that was what I was doing.
Yeah.
So
and getting rid of a lot of stuff. Yeah,
I feel like I'm pretty good at staying on top of getting rid of stuff. So it was more just having to find space. But now I have empty drawers. I have shelf space that's available. I just have to find a good way to organize vinyl now.
Well, there's lots of ideas out there. Check Pinterest. Lots of good ideas for that.
But anyway, and I got some stitching done.
And in spite of all of that, you got some stitching done. Well
Started
done, daughter.
to have
well
2
done.
new starts. So,
well, with that,
let's do our fully finished. Okay. And then you have some finishes. And
I've got nothing going on in life, so don't worry about me.
You just said it was mostly you, so share what you've been doing.
No, that's just it. Just working out. It's nice. The pool has been warm, so swimming out 4 to 5 mornings a week and just getting some organizing done around the house as always.
She also redid her craft room.
Yep. So, yeah, it's much more user-friendly now and more efficient. So anyway, I was just teasing Allie that this is a kind of a quiet time for me. Things are going to start getting a little crazier in the fall, but for right now it's just quiet and I'm kind of enjoying it. Yeah. So it's all good. And then helping my girls when they need it. So
yeah, had more car trouble. Oh, that was I think before our last video.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
on to our
fully finished. So I didn't bring any project cards or whatever, and I actually forgot one of the things, but I finished the Blooming Tiny Town. And cute. I even fully finished it. I got the buttons on for this is the first time I'd ever done buttons.
It is so cute, Allie. I love the tiny towns.
So like I had to figure out how to do like the colonial knots. This one turned out a lot better than this one. That one didn't really turn out. But I got like the buttons on there.
And it's those little things that really make a...
It did a little, I don't know how to stop the bleeding, but like the clay pot especially bled a little bit.
Oh gosh.
But I'm not someone that's gonna worry about it. I think it's really cute. And this Starry Night Studio board made it so easy.
Yes.
Because all I had to do was cut this and like, I went super easy. I didn't even put batting underneath it. I realized later I should have.
It makes it look finished more.
But like, I did the corners all by myself and like, then I just glued it to the board.
Looks so good.
So
Practice makes perfect, ladies.
I really
and
love
gentlemen.
this. I'm gonna have to do another tiny town.
I want to get started on the nativity one. I've been seeing a lot of people do them,
And I've seen you have a seaside tiny town.
And I want to do that one too.
All kitted up.
Yeah.
But, so that was my finish and fully finish. And other than that, I just have a couple new starts.
And I, ladies, actually have 2 finishes. Do I? Yes, I do. So, the first thing I did was finish up Robin Pickens's Madras Beanstalk. Madras. And I love it. I'm trying to figure out how I want to finish it. I finished it with all the called for everythings. But I don't know why. I see this finished very simply, but in a gold frame.
I think that'd be really pretty.
A simple gold frame. But if you guys have any other ideas on how to finish this, I haven't seen anybody finish them yet. So I don't know what people are doing it. But for me, from the very beginning, I've just seen it in a very simple, elegant gold frame.
So what you're saying is we need to go to Hobby Lobby.
Probably. Yep. So if you guys have any ideas on how to finish this other than that, I don't want to do a pillow. I don't want to, I just see it in a gold frame, but sometimes you get an idea stuck in your head and you can't see outside of that idea once it's in your head. So
I think that would be really pretty.
I think it would.
Or some sort of like wooden ornate and bring in one of these colors into
Possibly.
it and paint it yourself.
But there's just so much gold in. Anyway, that's what I see. So anyway, it's a finish and I love it. And I was not disappointed stitching it because, you know, it's such a beautiful pattern. And the lucky part is I still have some of this fabric that I will be able to use for some small something because it's a beautiful fabric.
If there's another like matching.
There is one that I think, no, it was the other stuff. She hasn't done a twin of this or a complimentary of this yet. But Robin Pickens, I know you watch us. But if you do, please make a complimentary pattern. I love this. This was so fun to work on. Anyway, so that is my fully finished. And then between finishing that and work in progress, I felt I was kind of craving something small and fast and easy and summery-ish and patriotic with the 4th of July. So I was looking through what I had and looking through I had what on Pinterest or on Etsy saved. And I came across this Emily Call pattern called USA. It's a very simple thing and it's 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And so I started it. Now, the only thing, she has it on a natural linen. I did it on a very pale gray, but here it is.
That's so pretty.
It's very simple. I'm going to turn it into a lovely tiny pillow, or not tiny, but small pillow. And then, but it was sweet and I finished it like in 3 days, which was just what I needed because I've been working on some, for me, decent sized patterns and
just wait, guys. Just wait.
I'm one that I need to feel like occasionally I'm getting something accomplished. So that felt good to get this done. And then a woman at the Stitch West last fall was handing out these as just little table gifts. They're patriotic pins. And so I think I'm going to use those for here.
That'll be really cute.
I think that'll be adorable. So
you had a couple finishes.
Those are my finishes for the 2 weeks, which compared to what I've been doing lately, I've been kind of back in the mood to cross stitch again. So I've been getting a burst of energy, which feels good between being outside, swimming, and just getting medications squared away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had 2 new starts and they're actually on the same fabric. I was feeling patriotic-y.
It is the summer.
Right, and that's where so I kitted up a couple projects all at one time. And one of them was this Erin Elizabeth American house. So that's what it's supposed to look like. I really liked it. And so I started this shortly before I left for Kansas City, and I've continued working on it.
That's
Actually,
pretty.
really liked the
perfect
flowers.
fabric.
Right? This is just like a country vintage mocha. Like,
Which is good for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So I just did the key the other night, and I've been like filling this in. So now I'm kind of at the boring part of like filling in the house.
That's mindless TV work. That's fun
Yeah.
to do when you're watching a good show or
Yeah. NCIS.
We've all been watched. I've never watched the show, and then
Yeah.
Julie, last winter said, "Hey, how about we start this show?" And we're just totally hooked. So, and the good thing is we have like 22 seasons to catch up on, so it'll take us a while.
Season like 10 now. I just watched the one where it was really cool. I was actually looking them up. The Montford Point Marines, where right during World War II, FDR. I was actually like researching it because, you know, history. FDR set an executive order allowing African Americans into the Marines. And so they had their own like camp next to Camp Lejeune because the military was still segregated during World War II. But they had these great displays of bravery during like Okinawa and Iwo Jima. It took until like 2012 for them to get the Medal of Honor.
Was
and,
that
like,
Gibbs's dad's
namesake?
best friend?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So I love at the end how they're like honoring these people, and throughout they'll do different like military honors. And so that was really cool to see, because then they would influence, much like the much better known, or at least more known to me, like
more famous,
the Tuskegee Airmen,
yeah,
or the Code Talkers,
the Marine version, an Indian.
They led to advocates for them desegregating the military in I think it was 48 or 49.
Yep.
So it was just really cool, and like I'd never heard of that group of Marines, so I was looking it up, and it was really cool, and it's something I kind of want to input into my classroom because it would have really applied to like the SAQ that my kids were writing on today.
Oh gosh, well now you know to add it in.
Just like as examples of like African Americans like advocating for rights and equality prior to so many kids jump straight from like the freedom in the 1860s to the civil rights movement in the 1960s and nothing in between.
Okay.
Sorry guys, I can go on. But anyway, so
this is not a history tube.
Well, so anyway, I was stitching on this. Some of you guys saw it when I was stitching at the airport. And then I don't
And you're
have,
using all the called for except for the fabric?
Yes, I love like the greens
similar.
and the blue, and I just love the colors.
They're muted is not the word. Antique-y.
Yeah.
They're not bright. They're beautiful. They're rich.
Classic.
They're just, yes.
I would say antique almost.
Well,
because like this is going to be more, this is like you can't really tell, but this is more of like a cream, and then this will be a brighter white. Yeah. So like they offset with that. And I just love like the colors of the flowers. Like that actually stitched up a lot easier than I thought. Probably gonna stitch the flag here soon.
No, I like her stuff.
And then honestly, I like these little minis that go with it too.
She does wonderful work. And may I just say I have a bone to pick with you designers. Please take this as a compliment. Yes, you're taking a lot of my money. You just keep coming out with a wonderful pattern after wonderful pattern, and I can't choose, so I have to either buy them all or feel like I'm hurting somebody's feelings. So keep up the good work.
Keep taking my money.
Really, keep taking my money.
I just have to tell myself, like, unless I have a plan to like stitch it, and it still doesn't always happen because I also bought the Primrose Cottage house.
Oh yeah.
That I thought would look, because like I figured this might look cute in my classroom in the like the date box for school going back. Yep. But anyway, I don't have the picture of it. I'll insert it here. But I also started the USA Spool by Crafty Bluebonnet.
Okay, that's a good one too.
I think her spools have gotten bigger, because if you watch some of our earlier videos, and I bought like a little box that we've finished them with like some backing so you can interswap the spools throughout the seasons. I think this spool is going to be too big for it. And I know from like my first jack-o'-lantern spool, that was like my first ever cross stitch. This is like 13, 14 stitches wider.
Okay.
So I'll insert what it's supposed to be, but that's what I got done so far.
I like that one too. What's the pattern look like? Did you say you forgot the pattern?
Yeah, so I'll insert the picture down
Okay.
here.
I like their stuff. That's another one to do.
Yeah.
I know she has the Eagle one from Nashville Needle Market, the Eagle one. That was the month of the bird of the month. I didn't get them all, but I love the Eagle. I love that patriotic one. Okay.
Speaking of.
So you guys know for my birthday stitch last year,
The shared birthday start that I have not started
she
yet.
hasn't even started. I'm doing it on my own. That's what you get for having a daughter so busy. So this is the Mirabilia Aphrodite Mermaid. So I started this on my birthday last winter. And I'd made some progress. I'd gotten through her hair, and I just got stuck. I wasn't inspired to work on it. It wasn't like it was something I was looking forward to working on. And then the more I tried to force myself to work on it, the more I was realizing I was getting the stitches all off and cattywampus and crazy, and it was frustrating me. And then, you guys, I think I've told you I belong to the Fabrics by Stephanie Fabric of the Month Club. Well, I was just about ready to give up on it, or not, I don't know what, I just wasn't feeling inspired, and it made me sad because I'm crazy about the pattern. Well, then the fabric of the month came for May. Yes, May. All of a sudden, I looked at this fabric and said, that's what I want to do
Inspiration struck.
Aphrodite on. It was like, oh my gosh, I don't know why the dark blue wasn't working for me. I loved it. It's gorgeous fabric, but the colors didn't show up.
It's really funny. I will text her my progress, like as I'm stitching through something. She really rarely will send me stitches of like her progress. Like, I enjoy sharing. She could take or leave sharing. She does it for herself, and I do it for myself, but I have fun sharing it.
Yes, and I'm one that just...
But as soon as she started this, she started sending me pictures of her progress and of the new fabric.
It's just amazing. So I started this on the new fabric May 21st. So it's just been a month. And I will tell you, I'm doing all the called for all the flosses and everything. The difference is I am using Fabric by Stephanie, her 32 count linen called Lilac. So that tells you the color of the fabric. I can't stop working on her.
She's so funny.
And here she is, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. The fabric is beautiful. The colors just pop on this. It will go with my house so much better. I've done this in 1 month. All of that. I'd only done this in 5 months. In 1 month, I've restarted and done all the way down to here. I love her. I love working on her. It's amazing what just changing the fabric will do to a project.
I still want to start her, but Mom's making me think like the fabric is so much lighter. Like I feel like the fabric we bought that it called for is like very like a stiff
It's very stiff, which most of the time it loosens up as you use it, but it's just this color.
But now I kind of want to reconsider what fabric to start her on.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the floss tubers, they're going, oh, this project just isn't doing it. I don't like the fabric. And it was kind of like, I kind of didn't understand. I think I'm going to restart it, do a different fabric. It's kind of like, I don't know. Well, now I get it. It's amazing how it's not always the pattern that puts you in the mood. It's amazing that just changing up your fabric can change your whole
It pops so much
attitude
off that fabric too.
About it. I'm enjoying stitching on her, even the back stitching, which I don't usually like. Because I'm always afraid I'm going to stitch it up. But even the back stitching, like on her face and stuff, I'm loving working on her.
She's so pretty. She's big, like.
She's gonna be a big girl.
Yeah.
Long, not this.
No, that's what I meant.
She's
Like,
gonna be long.
She's
But
really
I'm enjoying her. I'm enjoying it. It's frustrating. And I'm not very good at having to change stitches a lot, but there's a lot of color changes in here, and I'm loving it. Just loving it.
The tail is gonna be really pretty.
Yeah, and I'm just getting to the part where it's gonna start spreading out now, I think. Yeah. Yep.
So pretty.
So anyway, I'm enjoying her immensely. So, and I also have a project I want to get started on, but I can't talk about it here because who it's for is for somebody who watches, my sister.
Oh, hi Aunt Jen.
So I can't.
Details to come later. After, is it like a
Hi
birthday
Kelsey.
present?
Probably. If I get it done in time. Hi Kelsey. Hi Jen. Hi Sally.
Hi everybody. Okay, so that's all the stitching I have, but I kitted up another project that I'm excited to stitch on.
Okay.
So a couple episodes ago, I shared with you guys my finished lemon tier, and I talked about doing the watermelon tier, and I changed my mind. I was going through and buying it, and instead I bought Erin Elizabeth's summer tier with watermelon and flamingos.
The colors in there.
And
I love me some flamingos.
so I went out, and it was the same time I kitted up the Erin Elizabeth house, American house. I was on Erin Elizabeth's website, and I think I had like 17 things in my cart at one point. That was going to be expensive, so I narrowed it down to like 2 or 3. So I got all the colors. Get it down to 2 or 3.
Yeah,
There's no choice. I couldn't afford 17 patterns at once.
that makes it easier, but
So anyway, so I kitted up.
look at those colors. They're
like-
so fun.
Yes, so I want to get this started here soon. And then I went through my stash back when I had I was getting the Forbidden Fiber fabric of the month. I miss getting fabric once a month. That
It is
was so
kind of
much fun.
Especially when you see my fabric.
Yeah. But anyway, so I had this Heather Peach. I was like trying a couple, and I was calling mom on a video chat trying to, like, this really doesn't, maybe back there it does
The
a
real
little bit
pale
more.
colors don't tend to not show up quite as. Nope. That's the best. Ish.
So it's like it's
Very
very much
pale
a pale
peach.
pink-ish, kind of like a pinkish sand, or like a skin tone, like a peachy skin tone. Anyway, so I was like going back, do I stay more neutral and play it safe? Do I do this?
Never play it
And you actually told me to play it safe on the video. You weren't a fan of this one.
And I think part of the problem with videos is it doesn't show the color
Right.
up really well.
So
Because seeing it now, it's like, what? Why? I never say
Yeah.
play it safe.
So again, it's not coming through here nicely, but it's like a pale pink that kind of looks like a pinkish sand. And so I'd like to start this one soon while it's still summertime.
Good
But
idea.
I got the
But you
Americana
got these
stitching
two.
too.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm excited to start that. I've just been doing a lot of reading and friends, and
You've had a good,
like
you're having
I've been
a good
staying
summer
busy,
break.
yeah.
So that's good.
I don't know how people get bored. I mean, I do, because nothing. So there's times when like nothing sounds.
But that's okay. That's healthy too. You
Yeah.
need sometimes to do nothing. That is mentally healthy for you as well too.
Yeah. So,
There's nothing wrong with laying in the backyard and staring at the stairs, or in our not stairs. We have no stairs.
staring at the
No,
ceiling.
there's nothing like floating in the pool at night and just staring and doing nothing. It's mentally healthy.
So,
It's a lesson I had to kind of teach your dad when we got married.
and I think I might have put a couple stitches in the Turnin and Darna, but not enough to. I can't say that I made any progress since the last video, so I left it at home. And
I think I'm gonna have to do the Seaside Tiny Town. There's so much I want to stitch.
right, so much stitching, so
Little time. And then the separate hobby of collecting cross-stitch projects, that's a whole nother thing.
I will say, I see Joy's over there. I have been crafty in other ways though too.
Oh yes. So one of their dear friends is moving out of state. So Allie was such a sweetheart. She organized a kind of a going away party. She's not leaving quite yet, but it was a night they could all get together, and so she did a lot of stuff for this party.
My friend is very much like an introvert. Like, she doesn't like large groups of people. Like, even the 5 of us can be too much for her sometimes. But like we're all like very like bookish people. So downtown Gilbert has 2 independently owned bookstores and Postino, which if you're a local and you don't know Postino and you bruschetta, but it's great. It's like $5 glasses of wine, $6 glasses of wine until 6. Like, it's great.
And there's one coming to the town we live in.
So we went to Gilbert and checked out the first bookstore, then went to Postino and had lunch, and then checked out the second bookstore, and then went back to my house, and I set up my house to be like a reader's retreat. So I pulled my coffee table aside and blew up an air mattress. So like in the nook of my couch, there was an air mattress. So we were just all lounging and reading books. And there was a charcuterie box in like shaped like an S for her initial. And I made koozies. So I made koozies for Stitch West. And I realized I love making koozies. Like, they're fun, they're quick, they're easy. And if you're a bookish person, you might have seen like Book of the Month, the company, pop up on Instagram.
Sorry, Julie's walking in front of us and she's just going, you made koozies for my birthday first.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So I made them for Julie's birthday that were all like birthday and book themed. Then I made more for Stitch West. I made some for my coworkers to start the school year. Like, they're just a fun little... But anyway, Book of the Month they get hats with different bookish sayings, and there was one that they had that born to read books, forced to read emails.
For all you working gals out there.
Yeah. So I turned it into little koozies, and this is like the, what do they call it? The little giveaway, the party gift, I guess. Party gift.
Yeah, that works.
So anyway, I made these and I was like, so I've been doing that with like the Cricut. I was doing something else with the Cricut. Oh, we made bookish bags earlier in the summer.
You guys have been actually doing quite a bit with the Cricut this summer.
But yeah, so it was really fun. Like, my friend made peppermint brownies. Oh yeah, here's the bag. So I'm still new to the Cricut, so this is only the second time I've done an offset. So I wish I wouldn't have done so much white or no white at all. But I made this one. So it's just been a lot of fun. Like, Mom gave me her big Cricut so I can do some bigger projects now. But it was really fun. So like, it was just fun, like me and my 4 best friends like hanging out at my house. The last 2 left at like 10:15 that night, and they got there at like 10 or 11 that morning. Yeah. It was a good time. But
you've been having a very good summer, and that's good to hear.
Yeah. So I put together my whole new craft room the other day.
So what book are you reading? Okay, so just so you know, she's a fantasy book reader, much more. I mean, I like fantasy, and I've read quite a few of them over the years, but
you have not experienced Sarah J. Maas.
No, I have not. I'm old school fantasy. Like King Arthur's type fantasies, although I'm the one that kind of introduced them with Discovery of Witches and...
Yeah. No, we get our book, but anyway, so my friend, we're all like Throne of Glass and ACOTAR, and my friend had started the 3rd series and finished the 3rd series by Sarah J. Maas, the Crescent City series, and she's like, you gotta read it, I need someone to talk to about it, like, read it. And I was like, okay, well, I was gonna wait till summer, but I started it before. So probably since our last Flosstube. These are not small books, but I've read the 1st and 2nd. I started the 3rd one in our reader's retreat on Thursday. It's currently Saturday.
2/3 of the way through?
Half,
okay.
I was at 48% when I went to bed last night, and I've read a couple chapters since then. The first one, Sarah J. Maas does such a good job of creating characters and like creating emotion. I cried throughout the whole book. Fantastic story. I actually went back and re-listened to it because it wrapped up so nicely before I started the second one. Read the second one, finished that the other night. I started that on Thursday, and it's one of those, like, I'll sit down and read a chapter or two and then go do something and then come back. And then last night I read, like, yeah.
I was very fortunate that all three of my kids love to read. So here's a funny story, though. So Julie and Allie got my son's fiance into reading the whole fantasy stuff. And so my son's trying to understand it. He doesn't get it. He gets bits and pieces.
She's in love with Rhysand. If you know, you know.
And that's all we need to say.
She says he's her true love other than Oliver.
So my son is leaving in August for a 6-month deployment. And not that they get a lot of free time, but they do have free time. So he likes to, again, he's a reader. He loves history, Roman history, any kind of history. But he loves fantasy, or I don't know if fantasy is the right word. He grew up reading
Lord of the Rings,
and he loves Narnia.
And military stuff.
Yeah,
and
he reads a wide range of stuff too, but he loves the whole good fantasy literature. So he ordered the whole Fourth Wing series, ACOTAR series, 6 books,
5
to put on the sub, so he can understand what all the fuss is about and to understand what Elizabeth's fascination is.
So we're sitting on the
Rhysand.
family chat, and I was like, he might like Throne of Glass better. It's less romantasy, more true fantasy. And Elizabeth jumps in and is like, no, he needs to meet Rhysand. He needs to understand.
So bless my son's heart. He bought all 6 books and he's putting it on the sub so that for 6 months he can finish reading that.
How much crap he's going to get.
He'll get a lot of crap. But secretly, everybody else has probably read them too. Now, this is a boy who also just finished reading War and Peace. So he needs something a little light and something he can gag about occasionally and make fun of his girlfriend for. And his 2 sisters, because trust me, he does. They get along wonderfully over that kind of stuff. Anyway, so that's a funny story. And then I'm just going to make it really quick. All 3 of my kids love to read, which I'm so thrilled. My husband was not a reader. He had some dyslexia and kind of growing up. They didn't know how to take care of it. So reading for him was not fun, but he was thrilled that all 3 of his kids loved to read.
He got mad at me sometimes when I tried to read over do chores.
Yes, because you didn't. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. We won't go in. That's for a psychotherapy session. But he really never complained about the kids reading unless it got in the way of their chores, which
it did.
The other 2 didn't let it. But anyway, so I started this book probably 2 months ago, and it's taken me a long time to read. Normally this book I could get done in a day and a half. But this book was so filled with pain that it was hard to read. Beautiful moments too in the midst of the pain, which sometimes I think made it even harder to read. But have you guys, I'm sure many of you have heard of the book or saw the movies, A Man Called Uwe. It was a book first, they turned it into a movie, and then the second version came with Tom Hanks. A Man Called Otto, I think, was the American version of it. But the original movie, as good as Tom Hanks was, the original movie was even better. A Man Called Uwe. Anyway, he just came out, the author Frederick Backman just came out with a new book called My Friends. And I just have to say, I just finished it today. I had to force myself through it because there was so much love and joy, but in the middle of so much pain and heartache that I could finish a chapter and then it hurt too much. I had to put it away and it'd take a week or so. So anyway, it took me a long time to get through the book, but the book ended full of joy and light that I thought I was going to end up reading the book and be sobbing for days, and it takes me weeks to process it. But it ended on such a note of joy and healing that I can honestly recommend it as a really, really good book in case you're looking for something besides romantasy. So
Hey, I'm
no,
at
I'm
six.
not. I'm not putting it down. Please,
I've
I'm
done.
not.
I know. I've done 6 or 7. I'm on 6 or 7 of 12 nonfiction books for the year.
No, I'm not.
Like,
I'm just saying there are some people that want something
Yeah.
besides just that. So I can honestly tell you,
I'm just a
if you can
romantic
wick
kick.
through the heartache. It's about some teenagers and what humans do to kids sometimes is not pleasant, and yet how some kids work throughout and still maintain beautiful personalities. Anyway, it's a wonderful story. I love his writing. I've read several of his books now. So that's his newest one, and I can really highly recommend it. So, sorry, this is half Flosstube today, half BookTube.
You know what? At this point, if you're sticking around with us, you know we're usually going to get a book talk in there.
Yep.
That's like my 2 hobbies.
Yep. I don't talk books.
Actually, 4. Reading, cross-stitching, collecting books, collecting cross-stitch patterns.
Yes. And I've got card making to boot, so.
So what are your plans for stitching for the next couple weeks?
Probably just keeping on this. I want to get started on the gift. We should just henceforth refer to it as the gift.
The gift.
And then I like working. This is a big, intense, well, for me, it's a big, intense project. For some people, that's just a hop, skip, and a park. But I like working on little things too. So I really think I'm going to do the beach summer, the tiny town summer, the beach one.
I like the tiny towns because you can like you feel a sense of accomplishment as you finish.
And that's what I
piece.
need too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm excited about my Aphrodite, but I also need to feel like I'm accomplishing something. So I don't know where you get it from. So I think all humans do to a certain extent.
I need to do my president or 2 for June.
Or 2 or 3. Well, you're up to speed with May, right? You were done through May.
No, I just need to do my June.
So
and
you
I kinda
have 1
started
week.
Him. Yeah. But to be fair, like,
It doesn't take that long.
I took these with me because it was all like I put both of these in one project bag
For Kansas City.
for Kansas City. And so I've been going back and forth between those 2, and then I came home from Kansas City and I was like down for the count for 2 days.
Oh yeah,
I
she
was
came
pretty
home
sick.
really bad cold.
And then I'm just getting to the point where like I might have a cough or 2 a day, but Mom banged on my door to get so I said no to IKEA the first time because we were gonna go to IKEA like the day after I got home, and I was like, I'm just not up for it. Like,
And she
I'm
never
gonna stay
turns
home.
down a chance to go to IKEA.
So I was like, here's the money, like here's what I need. Thank you guys. So Mom's like banging on the door, and like I get off the couch and I'm like walking, but like I just had like a huge coughing attack like 5 minutes before. So I'm like, I can barely talk. My voice was coming in and out.
I
And
didn't
Mom's like,
realize.
open the damn door.
I did. I didn't realize she was that sick. And then she opened the door and I went, oh, honey.
I was like,
so
I was trying to get to
sorry.
the door as fast as I could, but I had no energy.
And she hadn't taken a shower. You know how it is when you're sick? You just want to stay on your sofa and be left alone. And I knew, because I picked her up from the airport the day before.
Yeah,
and
like-
she was coming down with a cold, but okay.
But by that night, I was like, it was getting worse.
I'm
And
such a before
she left, she apologized. But I knew she didn't think I was. And like the thing is, like my voice would come and go, so sometimes I could talk on the phone with them, and they would check in. I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like I could actually talk, and then like 20 minutes later, I would have no voice. Like trying to talk to my cat, trying to talk to Alexa.
And she just looked awful.
And like, yeah, it was. So that kind of slowed me down coming back.
Yeah.
It's just been like I said, it's been
just been going like a
But
bad
what
out of
we've been
heck.
out for like 3 or 4 weeks now already, and I feel like I barely slowed down. Like
unless you get a cold and you're forced to slow down.
but that wasn't even like restful.
No.
Like that was like, oh my gosh, laying down is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because my back hurts.
Yeah.
So yesterday was the first day where I was like, I chose to slow down, and it was lovely. I got a
Okay,
lot of
and I'm going to share another project I'm thinking about doing. So Nicole Spoor, I know most of you know who Nicole Spoor is. She does cards, and she also does cross stitch. And she's kind of the one that got me back into cross stitch with her flying lessons from a couple years ago. Anyway, so she just shared, I think it's just been the past week, on her Flosstube, her Create. She did the Create. It was a free pattern by, not Teresa Kogut, Brenda Gervais, the one out of Detroit. Farmington, well, out of the Detroit area. Anyway, it was Create. It was a free pattern, so you can go to her website. But Nicole did it in a color scheme that I just went, that's it. I'm going to do that. So I downloaded the pattern. I'm probably going to work on that too. It just says Create with a needle, and but she did it in such a colorful pattern that would be fun to do.
Thank you for reminding me, you guys. Have you seen Caterpillar Cross Stitch's Ghostly Gatherings?
Oh, that was whose?
That opened for pre-order today.
It's a stitch along, because I did their Halloween one last year. She does Halloween really well. Caterpillar Cross Stitch. She's out of England.
So their needle minder, adorable. The little bat floss drops that she's been advertising, adorable. I was like, it's $76 for like everything, including the floss drops and the needle minder and the 4 patterns and the fabric.
And does that cover shipping? Because it's coming from England.
But it's $26 just for the patterns. It's $68
so
if you don't get
a lot
the
for the money.
drops.
Okay.
I'm a little like, our district is, I don't love how they do it, but because my old district, they would pay you like throughout the summer. So like your last paycheck of like the previous school year was 2 weeks before your first paycheck of the next school year. So it was really easy to like keep track of everything. My current school district now gives you, even if you choose to get paid throughout the whole year, they give you a lump sum at the end of the school year. So like, I always get really nervous about money in the summer.
Yeah, budgeting.
Because like, and I keep it all in my account, but like, because I have so many I have money
deductions
automatically go to my savings for my mortgage, and automatically, like, I don't want to mess with it. So I just leave it all there. So I never know quite, like, I just have to be careful. So I'm trying to justify it in my head. I think I'm going to do it though, because one, the needle minder is adorable.
It's the needle minders that get us sometimes.
The
I'm telling
little
you.
acrylic, and she has the acrylic
floss drops.
Floss drops, I think, are colored to the floss, and it's freaking bats, man. And the fabric is like a purple. Like,
okay.
Are you guys with me? Have anyone else seen this, or am I just like, I sent this to mom, like, I think every time it was like reposting, I was sharing it with mom. Like, I think I've shared it with her like 3 or 4 times, the poor woman.
I think I still have one more house on the one from last fall to finish. Otherwise I would do it.
It's freaking bats.
Well, you are a little batty.
I think I've never done a stitch along, like a true stitch along like this before.
And yeah.
Because it's 4 parts.
Yes. Did they give all 4 patterns at one time?
No.
Because I was going to say, because last year she only released one pattern a
July,
month.
August, September, October.
It's the same idea. And her patterns are adorable. I mean, they really are.
Anyone gonna do this with me?
Bright colors, cheerful.
Caterpillar cross stitch.
Yep.
Freaking bats. It's called the Ghostly Gathering.
For those of us who,
It's called the Ghostly Gathering.
Okay.
But I even think she shared the first part, and it's like cute little jack-o'-lanterns.
Her stuff is cute. On that big, deep, heavy sigh for all our batty people out there, I think it's time for us to wrap this up.
I hope you I think I'm gonna do it, guys. I'll stay post. Like, I'm gonna see if I can talk myself out of it, but I think I'm doing it. So let me know if you're gonna join me in it.
Oh, and from what I hear, the girls all went and saw How to Train Your Dragon.
See it.
Go see
it. I hadn't seen the animated, so this is me going in blind. It was really cute. Like, Toothless is like adorable. The people that my friend Kat, who invited us to go see it, loved the animated movies, and she walked out of there so in love with the live action because they stayed so true to the animated. Yeah. 2 thumbs up.
Yep. And I just watched the animated for the first time last night, and it was adorable. I was crying in the movie. Not that it takes much anymore to make me cry, but anyway.
Anyway.
All right, go see a movie. It's summertime.
Go read a book.
It's the time for movies and theaters.
4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. We probably won't be back until after the 4th.
Correct, because 3 weeks is like right around the 11th, 12th.
Yep.
So, right before school starts, guys.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for
Putting up with the bats.
Sticking with us to the end of our Flosstube, our booktube, our movie tube, our life tube. So,
and share what is your favorite. Okay, hold up. We're not quite done. 4th of July. Favorite tradition that at least we used to have what is your favorite 4th of July memory?
Truly, it was the 4th of July. We had the boat out on the lake up in Michigan. Every 4th of July, or not, it wasn't always on the 4th of July, but the boat we kept the lake on.
The lake we kept the boat on.
That too. The weekend closest to the 4th of July. So it could either be right before the 4th of July or right after the 4th of July if it didn't fall on a weekend. They would have a big barbecue at the place where we kept our boat. It was a day-long thing. We'd get the kids up, get everything done we need to get done. We picked up fried chicken. I made potato salad. Snickerdoodles. We'd have fruit salad.
Fudge.
My parents, when they finally moved back, he would make homemade fudge, which was just to die for. And then we'd go spend the day on the boat, and around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, they would set off fireworks over the lake. And
we'd park close enough, like basically on the barrier to get us
Drew
close.
would get us as close as to the fireworks as they would allow us, because they'd put a barrier up.
So you'd be watching the fireworks, and it felt like they were falling.
And a couple times, we would have the fire extinguisher ready to go because it looked like it, but it never did. And the lake was covered in people and just people having a good time. And we'd be out there playing cards and listening to music. And we'd tube a little bit, but then it would get so crowded that
4th of July was never the day to tube.
Yeah, it wasn't the tubing day, but it was just fun to be out there. And
we'd bring friends and family and
whoever wanted to come, we'd put on the boat, and it was just fun. It was a great summer. And down here, it's 100, 110 for the 4th of July, and they have stuff like Schnupp Farms close by has fireworks, but it's still 110 degrees outside when they're doing fireworks at 10 o'clock at night.
I miss summers where you can spend all day outside.
Yeah. You just can't do. At least I can't. I'm not made to survive that kind of heat.
I love Arizona, and I'm not ready to move, but I do want to live somewhere someday where summers are you can spend a summer day outside again.
Yeah.
And have a 4th of July. So anyway, I asked that because what I want to hear is share your favorite 4th of July tradition or favorite 4th of July memory. Because I love 4th of July. It used to be my second favorite holiday before we moved here.
Yep. It's just harder down here.
So.
But anyway,
4th of July.
So share 4th of July memories. And if you have any ideas of finishing my beanstalk, Madras Beanstalk, please share those too, even if it's a link to somebody who finished it beautifully. I would love to see some ideas because I've got it stuck in my head and maybe there's something better out there. So,
there we go.
All right. Happy birthday, America, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
See you in a few weeks, guys. Bye.
Bye.